Hello everyone, it's Ernest, your host for Money and Life Show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about savings because there is no way anyone can create wealth or riches without first of all know how to save. So in today's episode, I'm going to show you practical ways in which you could save and become financially independent, because you need savings. You need your savings to work for you, but before the savings can begin to work for you, or before you can employ your money to begin to work for you, you must first of all learn how to gather that money. And the only way you can gather money is first to start savings. You must know how to save, and there are so many literatures and so many folks out there teaching people, showing people how to save. But this will cost you a fortune to contact them. But in this episode, you're going to learn, different ways without spending a dime, different ways in which you can begin to save. A financial planner would cost you in the region of maybe $2-3 grand or $5 grand, for him or her to render his or her service to you to help you become financially independent. And one of the things that we show you is how to save, how to get out of debt, and rest of the things. But here, you're getting this information free of charge. I'm not asking you to pay anything. You're just getting it for free, because I want you to become financially independent. I want you to be debt-free, and I want you to live a life of nothing missing, nothing broken. I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to enjoy your sweat. I want you to enjoy what your labor or what you've labored for, without costing you a dime. So in today's episode, I'm going to outline at least 50 ways in which you could save money from your everyday activities. This is not rocket science. Anyone can do it if only they can apply themselves to do it, because it requires commitment and it requires steadfastness. One has to be steadfast in pursuit of this goal, in pursuit of becoming financially independent, in pursuit of knowing how to save, because it's not fun when you labor for somebody else. When you labor for yourself. Here are the 50 or more ways in which you can save money, or you can start saving money to become financially independent and to create wealth for yourself and your family. Now, one is move bank accounts to take advantage of interest rate, because the reason I said is because different banks and different bank accounts, have different rates or different interest rates that are attached to them, and you could take advantage of those bank accounts. You can go to different banks to find out the interest rate on different bank accounts. And there you could save a lot of money, if you really know what you're doing, and you'll be able to get to a good interest yielding bank account for you. The second one is turn off your TV. Oh, did I say that? Oh, I'm getting on somebody's nerves here, because some people love their TV so much. They pay for all kinds of soap operas, they pay for that soap opera. They subscribe to that service. And at the end of the day, they're not using any damn service. They're not using any of the service they subscribe to. The point is, why are you having it? You don't need it. Get rid of it, because it's just wasting your money, and you are servicing someone else's wallet instead of servicing your own wallet. You are making someone else's life better than making yourself worse off. You are enriching somebody else instead of enriching yourself. You may say, oh, you need it. Of course, you need some programs. But the question is, do you really need to watch Prime, watch Netflix, and Walt Disney, and HBO, and the list goes on and on and on and on. You don't need all that, All you need is just one. One is enough. And you're done with it. Number 3 is stop collecting stuff or buying stuff, but start selling unwanted stuff that you don't need. Try to scan through your house, because there's so many things you have at home that you don't need. And ask yourself, am I better off, selling this stuff than keeping it somewhere that I don't use it or I don't even need it? The things that end up accumulating dust over them, and you end up wasting your time cleaning them up and you don't need them. There's so many stuff some of us have at home that we don't need. We don't even use them. Sometimes we forgot that we have certain things or certain items at home, that we purchased thousands of dollars or thousands of pounds or euros years ago, they're just in the corner of the house and you're not using them. So sell them off. In some cases, people will still want to buy more of those stuff and say, I've got this stuff, but I think I need a new one or stuff like that. But the one you bought before, you haven't used it, so why do you want to buy that one? You're just making yourself poorer and making someone else's life better, and making your life poorer and enriching somebody else. So it's time to begin to rethink about that. Number 4 is sign for free customers reward program. Look for customers reward programs that you can sign up for, because there are a lot of good programs online and on the shops or whatever that can save you a heck of a dough. I tell you that. You pick out these coupons and you walk down there and you just lashing it out, and it feels good to spend someone else's money, isn't it? When you bring out those coupons and you just give it out, and instead of paying and you just collect stuff, it's like you're getting stuff for free. So it's time to begin to get those reward programs and enroll yourself in those reward programs, to take advantage of them so that you can save. And number 5 is use your credit card or debit card wisely, or avoid it. Just avoid it. If you don't use a credit card, if you don't need a credit card, don't even apply for it. Because at the end of the day, it's costing you more to have one than not to have one. You're paying interest on every dime you use. Everything you pay with a credit card, you're paying interest on that loan because you're borrowing money. What credit card is borrowing money that you don't have. And you're spending money that is not yours, or in some cases it is yours. But again, why would you want to spend your own money and pay interest to someone else, pay interest to someone else? So that's what credit card companies do. So they give you a credit card, and whenever you spend money, either home or abroad, you pay interest on what you spend on your money. But to some folks that don't have the money, what they do is that these credit cards is like you're borrowing money from credit cards company. That's why you have a credit card. So, and therefore that's why they call it credit in the first place, because it's a credit card. So therefore you pay interest because there's time value of money on that loan that you're borrowing, which is your credit card. So it's time to get rid of that stuff and throw it in the trash can. You don't need it. Spend your money. You spend your cash. You know what I'm saying? Number 6, I encourage everyone to always have a list of what they want to buy before going to the shop, or as you go into the shop, as you enter the shop, stick with that list of what you want to buy. And don't become an impulsive buyer. Buy only what you need and not what's outside your list. I also want to encourage every single person, especially the next one, which is number 7, to practice this, and that is master 30 days rule of purchase or decision making. Anytime you want to buy a major item or you want to buy something, give yourself at least 30 days to cool off, just to cool off and rethink if you really need that thing you want to buy. Because if you really need it, you will see it crystal clear. And if you don't need it, you also see that actually I don't really need this because I can do without this. So give yourself 30 days cool off, and that is point number 7. Number 8 is to cook for friends. Instead of inviting folks to out, to dine out or whatever, it's good to socialize and go dining out from time to time. But I would encourage you to, if you want to save money, invite folks over to your house and cook meal for them. You can socialize. You will have so much to talk about. You have so much to discuss about, and it's a great fun to have folks come over your house and you prepare meal for them. You and your friends, you prepare meals together and you dine together. And that takes me to number 8, repair clothes. Instead of toasting them out, before you toast any clothes out or into the bin or into a trash can, try to repair them, because a lot of us, some of us, we just buy a cloth, or even without it really having any damage, we just, whatever, you just dump it, you want to go get on that one. And if you cultivate that attitude, I can guarantee you ain't going to save nothing. Except if you're a billionaire or a millionaire, that's cool. But if you are just an average Joe, you know what I'm saying? If you're just an average Joe, then, and you want to be financially independent, you want to create wealth for yourself and for your family and for your children, for your future generation, then you have to cultivate the attitude of savings. And the things I'm outlining here will help you to become financially independent if you can adhere to them and learn how to use them in terms of being committed to these things and do them. Number 10 is find an easy way to entertain your children. It's not always going to the theme park, It's not always going to Disney, going to whatever, that you can entertain your children. Find an easy way to entertain them, and save up for their college. Number 11 is to gamers and to a lot of us that, that love our video game, our Xbox or Sony or whatever, a lot of us have, we just love our games, The point is you can buy a video game that has a replay, so that you can always replay it instead of buying games all the time. That will save you a heck of a buck. Okay? And number 12 is turn off the light if you're not using it. I don't know how many of you can really know how many, except if you live in China, because in China, they have the lowest kilobyte or whatever of electricity. So they can consume electricity, and it's so cheap. Electricity is so cheap in China, but not in the Western Europe or in the States. In Canada, electricity is not cheap. So, and you can save a heck of a duck, if you can just learn to turn off the light we're not using. Because a lot of us, we have the habit of just leave the light on, put on the light in the whole house on, whether you're using it or you're not using it, you just leave the light in burning. not knowing that you're just wasting your money, and you are making the electricity company or the utility company richer and making yourself poorer. Simply switching off the light when you're not using it, we save you a heck of a dough at the end of the day. Number 13 is look for energy service deal that things like like in the UK you can install smart meters. There's something in the States, so install smart meters that can help you take control of your electricity consumption and your gas consumption. When I mean gas, is your cooking gas, not your gasoline for your car. So those are two separate things. And number 14 is buy quality appliances that will last for years, that you don't have to repair, or you don't have to replace within 6 months or within a year or within 2 years. Buy stuff that lasts. I do know that there are a lot of stuff out there. There are a lot of companies that just want to manufacture stuff that don't. There's some stuff you buy today and within 6 months they're broken. They're broken. They're you can't even use them, and you don't have a warranty. So all you need to do is to replace them, without a replacement from the manufacturer or from the seller. All they will tell you is come tomorrow, come next week, come next month. So therefore, it's always good to buy something that lasts, so that you don't have to keep wasting your money on all this unreliable fake stuff that breaks within a couple of weeks or months of using them. Number 15 here is what I call price comparison. Try to compare prices. I know there's so many websites you can go to compare prices. Comparing prices helps you get a good deal and helps you save money. So try to look for bargains, because there's so many bargains out there, but you've got to look for them and you've got to spend your time, and that is why I said earlier on and in my previous episodes that, becoming financially independent requires effort, and it requires commitment and dedication for you to break free. So you have to do some work. Number 16 is something that will be good for those folks who are very, very good in making gifts. If you can make your own gift, instead of buying, then why not make a gift for a friend, or for your sons or your daughters or your husband and your wife, or a family member, on their birthdays, or whatever anniversary they're celebrating, so that instead of you going to buy some stuff, just make it, because they will value that which you spend time to make than even what you purchase with your money in some cases. So that is very, very good. And number 17 is to avoid emotional, impulsive, and stress purchasing or spending. It's so important, because some of us we want to buy something because of the way we feel, or because we've been hurt or whatever, so we want to buy something to fill the gap of hurt, or to fill the vacuum created by the hurt that we're feeling. Which shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't just be an emotional buyers. We shouldn't be an emotional spenders or stress spenders. So, and number 18 I want to talk about is cancel unused club and gym membership. You've got to cancel any unused membership clubs that you have, because that will save you money. Otherwise, those membership will keep taking your membership dues or fees every month or every year, without you knowing it. And I remember some years ago, I I just I used to pay everything on credit cards, and I have so many subscriptions and stuff like that. And so, I didn't really monitor, the fees because I just felt, well, they were not that much. Some were $35 per month, somewhere $50, somewhere $25, somewhere there was one that I had $78 per month, and majority of them, I wasn't really using them, and I didn't monitor and I didn't cancel those accounts even when I was not using them. I found out at the end of the year when I put on the whole sum of what I've paid in period of over 3 years. I said to myself, "Oh my goodness, what have I done?" You know, So just to save you headache and to save you fall into the same trap, you need to cancel any unused membership, any unused subscription that you have. Cancel it because that will save you a heck of a buck. And another thing, number 19 is buy fairly used stuff or cars when you can. Try to buy a fairly used stuff. You don't have to buy new stuff every day. All the time. Buying a fairly used car, for example, will save you a heck of a dough, because if you look at it, if you buy a new car, the minute you drive it out of that garage, it's dropped in value. Almost 20, 25% or 30% value of that car is dropped. You've lost already. So it does mean that you've just lost 25% or 30% of your money in a second. And that doesn't make much sense. So it's always good to buy a fairly used stuff. And number 20, when I was in England, there's something it's a website called Go Compare. It's number 20 is compare insurance policies, or compare rents or whatever, compare mortgages, compare flights, compare things before deciding to buy. These websites are very, very good because they will show you, they will show you, the lowest, or if not the lowest, but at least, an affordable price that you can pay for that other insurance, or a rent, or a mortgage, or a credit card, or whatever it is, because they cover a spectrum of industries and spectrum of lives and things like that. So you can get a good deal. This will save you a lot if you can do this. It requires effort, it requires time, it requires dedication, it requires commitment. But if you can sacrifice all of those, I am sure you will save a heck of a buck for yourself, and on your way to becoming financially independent, and creating wealth for yourself and for your family. Number 21 is remove your credit card numbers from online accounts. Remove your credit card numbers from online accounts. You have to do that. It's like what happened with the something as your unused club membership and things like that. This is really important because your online credit card, can be abused, or folks can just keep taking money from unused services for service that you're not using, but you subscribe to it unknowingly. You're not even aware that you subscribe to that service. And in some cases, it's a bundle that you cannot escape. Even when you've spoken to the company and say, especially when it comes to broadband and travel and things like that. They give you some insurance and say, would you like to buy this insurance? You tell them, no, I'm not buying insurance. Still, they still include insurance. I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but I have, and also broadband. I tell them I don't want this sport, or I don't want sport channels, or I don't want movie channels, or I don't want that service. I don't want that package included in my own package. So sorry. Okay, yeah, we can do that, or we've done that already, only to find out that they haven't done it, and they keep taking my money. So you have to really do this if you're to save money, And number 22 is do holiday shopping right after the holidays. It's so important. Don't shop before the holidays, because then shops will spike their prices. They will hike their prices. That's not the best time to shop. If you really want to save money, you can shop before the holidays because, you want to show off during the holidays. But I do advise people not to shop before the holidays. Always shop after the holidays, because then you come to know that something you bought before the holidays for, let me say, for 100%, a day or 2 days after the holidays, that same item will be reduced, to your surprise, 35%, 40%, if not 60% in most cases, or in some cases. So, and if you had bought it, or if you had bought it before the holiday, what have you done? You've just thrown away 40% of your income, of your money, just like that, out of the window. So it's wise to always shop after the holidays. Number 23 is to declutter your closet or your house. I've touched on this before. Try to see what you're not using. Just declutter your house. Look at stuff that they just clutter the whole place. They'll try to say, oh no, this stuff, I think I need to sell it on eBay, or sell it on another auction website or whatever, and get money out of it. If it's not adding value, just ask yourself, is this item here adding value to me or not adding value? If it's not adding value, dispose it. If it's adding value, fine, keep it. But anything that is not adding value and making your life better, making your life richer, making your life happier, making your life more enjoyable, if it's not doing any of those, it is time for you to dispose it. It's time for you to get rid of it and replace it with something else. I'm not saying buy something else, but what you do is you can fill the space with something tangible, with something that is adding value to your life, something that is enriching you, something that is making you happier, something that is helping you to save, something that is helping you become better, do better, and perform better. So that's what you need to do. And number 24 is try generic brands of items rather than going for expensive brands. Some of us like brands a lot. I'm going for, people just like their brand. It's good to be brand loyalty, but when you're trying to save money, you have to consider yourself first and not brand loyalty first, because you are trying to make yourself richer. You're trying to make yourself rich. You're trying to become financially independent. So what happens is you are the number one priority in the whole process. Will this enrich me? Will this make me better? What value will it be to you if you're brand loyalty and you paying double to what you've paid, or making the brand, the company, and the shareholders richer and making yourself poorer? The question is, of what value is brand giving to you? Of course, I do know that okay, if you wear certain coats to certain place, people, oh wow, he or she is wearing, wow, it might attract some things to you, or you wear certain suit, or you wear certain shoes or whatever, or certain makeup or whatever. It might, but at the end of the day, that attraction is not going to last for too long. You know, you're trying to create a sustainable, you know, you're trying to create a sustainable financial independent for you, and creating financial independent or becoming financial independent is for you to create wealth for yourself, for your family, and for your future generation. So you are the number one priority and not the brand. You know, the brand, they don't even know you. That's a quick. I mean, that's the point. The shareholders, they don't even know you. The CEO don't know you. The workers, they don't even know you. So and you're trying to be loyal, you know. So please make yourself number one priority in everything that you do to save money, to become better, to do better, to perform better, and to create wealth for yourself. Number 25 is to get life insurance, because it is important to have life insurance. Have life insurance. Life insurance, don't really cost much. It's maybe 25, 35, or 30 quid per month, or dollars or pounds per month. So it's not really expensive. Of course, there are expensive ones as well, but you can go to the one that you can afford, but try to get life insurance. Number 26 is cook at home to limit your takeaways, because takeaways can be very expensive cumulatively. It's not it's not expensive when you just order it and yeah, you paid, great. But at the end of the year, when you take the inventory, when you begin to take stock of your account, or when you begin to calculate how much, I don't know how many of you that do that, but for me, like me, every year, every month, actually, I review my accounts, and that this is very important. And you need to do this. When you review your account at the end of the year to see how much you've spent on takeaway, you'll be surprised to see, how many thousands you spent on takeaway. So it's good to always cook at home. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy takeaway, but it shouldn't become a habit of just having takeaway all the time, because that, you're making somebody else richer and making yourself poorer. Of course, you're eating the food though, but the same food you can cook at home, and you can cook and enjoy it and save yourself a heck of a buck. And that money, you could use to invest to create wealth, or start business, or do whatever you want to do with it. But that helps you in your journey to become financially independent, rather than just throwing it away or giving it to somebody else. Okay. Number 27 is electric cars are better. Well, we just begin to see electric cars. They can be expensive as well, but it's always good to buy electric cars, because once you charge an electric car, you can actually use the same electricity in your house, to charge your electric car, and you paid off your bill. But with gasoline, you paid all the time and it burns faster. So, but it's up to debate. It's up to personal choice. Either you want to go for an electric car, or you want to go for gasoline car. It's up to you. But for me, now that we have the possibility to have electric cars, I would advise folks to always go for electric cars, because it saves you a lot of dough. It saves a lot of buck, at the end of the day. Number 28, avoid the mall. Oh my goodness. Did I say that? Ladies and gentlemen, what are you talking about? I do know that shopping is a therapy to some people. It is a therapy for some people, but going to the mall, you're just wrecking yourself, because going to the mall, I can guarantee you see something you want to buy because that's what the mall is for. For them to sell, for you to buy. It's as simple as that. And going to the mall, you once you go to the mall, you want to spend money. You want to buy something. And even though you have the same item already at home, the same clothes, the same shoe, the same makeup, the same handbag, the same skirt or the same trouser or the same suit, whatever, you still want to buy something, you know, and you need to avoid that if you really want to save money, So avoid the mall, avoid going to the mall. And number 29 is practice the 10 seconds rule. The 10 seconds rule. 10 seconds rule is so important. If you're in a mall or in a shopping mall or you're in a shop, once you pick something into your basket or your shopping cart, and you're on the counter to pay, at that point in time, try to ask yourself, do I really need this stuff? Do I really need this stuff? Of what value is this stuff I am about to pay is to me? If the answer is no, and if you feel that this is not really what you need, at that point in time, just go back, drop it off, and walk out, or pay for something else and stuff like that. It's a 10 seconds rule. Once you put something in your bag, in your shopping basket or cart, and you're on the counter to pay, the first thing you do is question yourself, do I really need this stuff? Why am I buying this stuff? If you cannot figure out the answer at that point in time, drop it, leave it, and just walk away, because it does shows that you don't really need it. It's not a priority item for you if you cannot find the answer. Number 30 is an interesting one for everyone who has a spare room or a spare place in their condo or in their flats or apartments or houses, and this one is so good that you can make extra money, try to sign up with Airbnb, try to rent spare space out, try to get money out of it, whether you're renting or whatever. I do know that if you're renting, there are some terms and conditions or regulations that prevents you from renting a spare room out to a lodger or whatever, but if you're living in your own condo or your own house or your own flat or apartment, you can rent out a spare place and get money out of it. Number 31 is have a visual reminder of your debt. Try to have a visual reminder of your debt, because it's the only way you have the urgency, you have the commitment, you have the dedication to pay them off or to pay it off. If you don't have a visual reminder of how much you owe in, you even forget how much you owe in. And forgetting how much you owe in or don't know how much you owe is not a good sign, for you to get out of debt. If you know how much you owe, it is if you keep it at the forefront, have a visual reminder that you always know how much you owe, that puts certain level, certain amount of urgency, but not pressure, but urgency and commitment to clearing it off, and to set you off so they can set you off to becoming financially independent. Because there's no point, if you owing, you are helping someone else, you're helping someone else getting richer and making yourself poorer. It is time you begin to take control of your finance, of your money, which is your life, and make that money work for you. Make that money labor for you while you sit down and relax. While you sit down and watch it grow. You get to watch your money grow and not your money watching you declining and watching you in pain, if that makes sense. And this number 32 is also something I've touched on earlier, and that is to cancel online magazine and newspaper subscriptions. Because a lot of us, like I said before, we all have all these subscriptions, we have all these things that we pay monthly, you subscribe to that, you subscribe to that, you subscribe to that. You have to cancel all those. You don't need it. All you need is just one. One source of information is enough. One source of entertainment is enough. One source of music, of movies, these are enough. You don't need to subscribe to Prime, to Netflix, to Spotify, to Apple, to Disney, to all that. You don't need all that. You're just wasting your money, baby. You know what I'm saying? Number 33 is I know a lot of folks will say this, that, well, I don't take care. I mean, I don't like leftovers or whatever, but I want to encourage you and I want to help you, become financially independent. And if you want to become financially independent, this is very important. And that is, don't bin your leftovers. Don't bin them, because I mean, there are things you could use. I mean, there are things you could eat. I mean, they're good, they're not bad. They're just something you couldn't consume all at once. So they're leftovers that you can preserve. Try to get fridge to preserve them and stuff like that, and you can eat them. Instead of you ordering takeaway. So don't bin your leftovers because it's not good. And number 34 is see what you can swap with your neighbor, like babysitting, or are there activities that you can swap with your neighbors, with your good neighbors, or with friends, and that can save you money. Friends can pick over certain things from you. You can do certain things for your friends, and it's a win-win situation. You win, they win. They save, you save. So don't always try to avoid swapping stuff or swapping activity. You get to swap activity with your neighbor, with your friends, and don't try to do everything yourself. So it's so good because it will help you to save money. We're all about saving money. If our goal is to save, then we must eke out every single opportunity or chance that we get to save, because we want to become financially independent. Because once you are on that plane of financial independence, then life becomes fun, life becomes enjoyable, life becomes comfortable, life becomes. Number 35, try to take your homemade lunch to work. Don't always go to lunch out, or during lunch break you want to go buy some stuff, you want to go buy food or whatever. You can take your lunch to work. Calculate how much you spend on your lunch break. In a year, you will see how much you will save if you are taking your lunch to work, your lunch box to work, and try to prepare that yourself and see how much fun it is to prepare lunch box for yourself or for your kids to go to work, to go to school. So try to have your homemade lunch with you to work. Number 36 is dress minimal but smart. You don't have to break the bank for you to dress smart. you know, Try to dress minimal, because our goal here is to save. You cannot try uh, to create financial independence for yourself and for your family, or and try to save money, and but wearing most expensive brand or whatever. you know I'm not saying you shouldn't dress. You can dress, but dress minimal. you know That is very good. And number 37 is this is merely for men, who are handy. Try to do things yourself, or try to fix things yourself around the house. Don't everything that breaks you calling a handyman. Oh, please, can you come and fix my stuff? There are some stuff you can do yourself, you know, and doing them help save you a heck of a buck. Try to do certain things and running for helper all the time, because you are burning your money, you are burning your cash, you are just throwing it away. If that makes sense. Number 38 is this will help a lot of folks. Take good care of your car in terms of inflating your tires, changing your oil filters, because if you do all these little things, they're very little that anyone can do. A man, a woman, boy, or girl can do all this stuff. You can inflate your tires. You don't need to wait for a mechanic to come inflate your tires for you. You don't have to wait for a mechanic to come change, to know that you need to change your oil filter. You can just drive to a garage. Some people, some folks, some guys can even change their own oil filter for themselves. You know, there's so many there's so many YouTube videos out there that you can just look and change your filter yourself. But if you can't, go to a mechanic or go to a garage where they can fix it for you anyway. But it's not for you to always pop in there. Try to do it yourself. And this will save you a heck of a buck. Number 39 is try to go to free events. Go to the internet. Search within your community or within your group or whatever, or your Facebook or whatever. You will find a lot of free events that you can attend, you can go to entertain yourself. Okay, and number 40, take public transportation or carpool when necessary or when you can. Don't always try to drive your own car. If you can't take public transportation, do so. If you can carpool with somebody to go to work or to go somewhere, to go on vacation or to go on a road trip, do so, because it will save you a lot of money. If our goal here is to save money and become financially independent. Number 41, look for discounts and buy in bulk. There are a lot of supermarkets, a lot of places, a lot of wholesalers or wholesale stores that sell things in bulk. Try to buy in bulk, because it will save you a heck of a dough. Buying in bulk saves people a lot of money. And also look for these. Of course, there are a lot of them. You buy one, get one for free. You can get a lot of that. And try to practice that and see how much you can save, because it's a way of saving good money. Number 42, look into your broadband package and see what you don't need and remove it. A lot of this broadband stuff, and these companies are so smart that the way they package most of their broadband deals or internet deals, makes it sometimes impossible for you to cherry pick or say, I don't want that, or I don't use that. They do it in such a way that they know that you aren't going to use it or you don't use it, but it's an item or it's a product or service that they cannot sell independently. So what they're trying to do is they want to make money out of it, and therefore they try to sell to you what you don't need. Does that make sense? Now they try to say to you what you don't need. Simply tell them, I don't need this. Please, is there a way you can remove it, or else I will go to another provider, because you're trying to force me to buy a service or to buy something I won't use, or I don't use, or I don't like, or I don't want. So this is where you begin to assert
your authority as a consumer, because we as consumers, they have certain amount of authorities, and companies know that. So try to assert your authority as a consumer when it comes to these type of deals like broadband deals. And number 43 is, if you are like some of those folks that still have, you like in Europe, most European countries, some of them went to college or universities, without paying a dime. It's free universities in Europe, but a place like in the UK, you have to pay. A place like in the States or in Canada, you have to pay tuition fees. Now, if you are from these places, like if you're in the States or you're in the UK, United Kingdom, or you're in a place like Canada, that tuition fees or college fees are not for free, that before you finish your 4 years college, you've already accumulated, if you're not on scholarship, you've already accumulated a very high degree amount of debt. Now, what I do, or what I tell folks to do, is try to consolidate all your debts, all your student debts, so you know what they are. I've also touched on this earlier during this program. Consolidate them so you can have a visual presentation. You can have a visual understanding and a visual reminder of how much they are, your student or your college debts, how much they are, so that you can begin to pay them off as you go, and gradually, because without you doing that, you wouldn't know how much they are, and you end up not even paying them, and therefore the interest you keep increasing. So try to consolidate your student loans, because that will help you to pay them off or get them settled on time. And number 44 is pay off your mortgage loans, student loans, as quickly as you can. If you have the means, I know this from a friend. I used to have a friend, and this guy used to earn a lot of money. So at one point, he earned six figures. He used to earn six figures in a year, but he also has a lot of debt, because he was kind of living kind of lifestyle and stuff like that. He has a lot of debt to pay, and he ended up not paying those debts. And what happens is that, and often I tell him, man, what you can do is try to pay off your mortgage, because he has a mortgage then. So you can try to pay off your mortgage and stop buying things on credit. Everything they buy them on credit, even when you can pay them off. So I keep telling him, man, you got to pay this stuff up. He would say, no, I'll buy them a mortgage. At a point, he stopped earning the six figures, and his income dropped. And when his income dropped, and because he failed to pay off his mortgage when he should have paid off his mortgage when he had the money, and now when his income dropped, and eventually he began to struggle a little bit, and he now realized what he should have done earlier. So what he did was to pull money out of his savings, instead of the money he put in his savings that he could have used to invest. Rather, he pulled it out to pay off his debt. And that is kind of, that's not a smart way to really become financially independent. Okay, so I always encourage folks, if you can pay off your debt, if you have the means, if you're earning enough, try to pay off your debt. If your mortgage, your student loan, try to pay them off if you can, because that will set you on a pedestal to become financially independent, because then from then on, anything I earn, any income I receive, it's for me, not for somebody else. And number 45 is borrow books from library if you can. Try to borrow books from library. Don't try to buy every book or I know there are so many online books you can buy. Don't try to buy anything. Don't try to buy too much. Try as much as you can to see what you can borrow from a library. Belong to a library and see what you can borrow and read those. After reading it, you return it. It's as simple as that. What you know is what you know. Once you get the story or get the knowledge, nobody's going to take it away from you. But don't try to buy every book because that is a waste of your income. That's a waste of your capital. Try to save it. And number 46, try to find out and explore your company many offers and take advantage of them. Many companies offer their employees a lot of incentives. Let me put it that way. Try to explore those. It could be babysitting, it could be vouchers and stuff like that. Try to see how you can explore all the incentives that your company gives so that you can, because that will help you to save, instead of spending money on those things or those items that you could get for free from your company. Don't spend too much. Anytime you want to spend money, don't spend too much. Spend what is necessary. So that's number 47. Don't spend too much. Number 48, use Google Map when driving to save you from wasteful fuel or gasoline driving, so that you know exactly where you are going so they can take you get there or give you an alternative route how to get there faster, easier, and better. Because some sat navs or some TomTom or whatever it is, they're too wasteful. They sometimes take you to somewhere that is not where you're going, wasting your gasoline for nothing, or take you to a street that is not, take you to a highway that you have to reverse back. So always try to use Google Map so that it takes you to where you're going, because Google Map is very good. It can save you a heck of a time and money from driving. And number 49, use coupon strategy effectively. Look for coupons. Many supermarkets and many shops offer coupons. Use coupon strategy effectively because it will help you to save money. It is very good. I've used it myself and it works. There's no two about it. It will help you. Number 50, which is a very interesting one, is cut down on your vacation spending. I know a lot of folks won't like this, but if you are to become financially independent, not everything that you're going to do that you're going to like. I can tell you that. If you are to become financially independent, there are things, and a lot of things I've said in this podcast that you ain't going to like. But they are necessary if you are to achieve or attain your goal of becoming financially independent, because creating the habit of saving or cultivating the habit of saving will help you become financially independent. You want to close. What we're trying to do here is trying to help you close all the loopholes in your wasteful spending so that you can spend wisely. You can eat, travel, do whatever you want to do, wisely, and thereby helping you to save to create financial independence, which will then propel you to creating wealth for yourself, for your family, and for your future generations. So it is very, very important. I'm not saying it because I want to get it. I'm only saying it to help you. If you are to go to a financial planner to help you with these ideas, it's going to cost you thousands. You will pay thousands. Least you pay is about $3,000 you will pay for this stuff. For a financial planner to spend an hour with you will cost not less than $3,000, for sure. But here I'm giving it for you for free because I want you to become financially independent. I want you to be happy. I want you to live a comfortable life. I want you to live a life of enjoying that which you've labored, which you've earned deservedly. And number 51 is to save automatically on your wages or your incomes. But once you set up an automatic saving system, that once any income comes into your bank account, you've already set it up, the percentage. And I think percentage works best. Set it up on percentage. Could be 10%, or it could be 5%, it could be 20%, it could be whatever percentage that you think that it works for you, that is workable for you. You can set it up, and whatever that comes into your bank account, automatically that percentage, off it goes to your savings, and you don't have to worry about it. So now that we've come to the end of this podcast, it's an hour long. And I didn't intend to make it an hour-long stuff. I don't make an hour-long shows, but this is taking me an hour to record. So, but I feel good with it, and I'm happy with what we've done here. But before I let you go, I want to ask you for a simple favor. If you think that this podcast has been of any help to you, and you think will help somebody within your network or that please forward, please share. And because it's by sharing that we help one another do better, become better, and be better. So until next time, have a lovely and a wonderful day, and remember life. Bye-bye.
Take Tone.